Hello there, have you ever found yourself in a position where you felt like trying it out is the only option left for you? Don't ever try this, and this is the story of this week. But before then, do make it a duty please to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the notification button. So, let's roll on. Thank you, you are not alone for accepting to share my story. I am a Nigerian, but I live in Kenya. I am a guy with a golden heart. I love sincerely when in love, but mistakes will not leave my stories. I was told by my mama that I was too stubborn as a young boy, always daring to do that which I was told not to do. She would always tell me that I was a rebranded person now. I appreciate Mama a lot because her love is so real. I would never like to fail her. When I eventually found myself in the university, I made up my mind never to let myself down. Before I gained admission to study engineering, stories of cultism, school palaver and sex abuse lingered so often in my mind. So in the school, I was focused on avoiding those anomalies. But at times, in life, it seems like those things you avoid come your way often. It was barely 6 months, and I found out I could not neglect the reality of the love I have for one Sandra girl, a decent and adorable lady. I could not believe myself. How could it be that in less than a year, I was about letting my decision slip away? I was sure that if I stepped into the relationship, other campus problems might step in too. Since I made up my mind not to fail my mama, I opened my palms for the friendship but took a bold step. I called mama and told her about Sandra baby. She didn't feel bad, but she demanded to see her. Then I took Sandra to my home and presented her to mama and papa. As you would expect, she gained the love and trust of my strict parents. I had no doubt on that. Sandra had this special quality that endeared her to all. Soon after our graduation, we all scattered into the world. How time flies. The old saying that time unites applies to my life. I didn't know how it all happened, but I still reconnected with Sandra. She was working in a metal firm in Lagos, very close to where I also worked as an automobile engineer. This time, we were better off. We had times for ourselves and understood each other more. After a long while, I decided to take a bold step. I proposed to her. Shockingly, she offered an excuse. She offered the reason that she wanted us to know ourselves the more. I was not comfortable with the decision, but I had to honor it. If 8 years of our friendship was not enough, I can still wait. After all, she should care more about time. After a long period of anxiously waiting for Sandra's response, I just resolved to start responding to one Sarah, who recently was becoming a big distraction. Sarah is more like a gold, but not to be compared with Sandra. Her chats at that time became more consistent and interesting. Gradually, I found out I had already keyed in to her demands, questions and wishes. Though strangely enough, I have never met with her. We only met in social media where I texted and called on video. But then I discovered Sandra was becoming less consistent with our chats. One rainy afternoon, Sandra called after a long while requesting that she would be in my apartment in the evening. I welcomed the news gladly. At last I thought it was time to end the long suspense. That evening, after our normal playful times, we had our dinner and then retired to sleep. I was still imagining why she came when she told me that she wanted to show me something. She handed a phone over to me where I saw chats, voice notes, images, between one Felix and Sarah. My bride caught immediately. How on earth did she get this phone? I later discovered Sandra was Sarah, that I have been chatting with for a long while. The funny thing is that I am living with her now, happily married with 2 kids. She forgave me. I was lucky, but I know you may not be as lucky as I was. So, don't try this. I thank you are not alone, family, for giving me this opportunity to share this story.